Well, if anybody happens to be wondering about what happened to the original engine out of the truck with 501,000 miles on it that lost oil pressure, here it is. When I changed the engine, I just set it in the back of a storage trailer until I have a chance to tear it down, and I have not even come close to having a moment to tear it down and find out what happened or what went wrong. The part we're looking for is right here. Yesterday I was driving back from Texas and I got check engine light, and when I checked I had a whole list of codes, and what it came back to was the EGR cooler bypass valve was not functioning correctly. I'll show you the codes that I got. I'm back home now and got the truck sitting here with the hood up because I was about to change that, and I started not to do a video. I just want to jump in and get it done, but I want to show you guys. I think it would make a good video, and I think it could actually help somebody out. So here are the codes that I found in the ECM when I checked it out. So here's the AUTEL, and looking at through the camera, you may have to bear with me, but we're just going to go engine diagnostics. I'll go ahead and turn the ignition on so it can connect, and hit auto scan for it to scan the modules that have issues. Let this go for a minute, and now we're going to do scan DTCs. Alright, so I was having no codes at all whatsoever until all these popped up. Now, what I have kind of learned since I've been looking into it is this EGR cooler bypass control circuit open bank. I believe with this thing being stuck open, I believe it'll cause the rest of these codes. Particulate filter regenerating frequency bank 1. I believe if it's constantly dumping more soot because that thing is stuck open, if it's dumping more exhaust to it, it could take it longer to regen than normal, which could cause that code. There's another EGR bypass control circuit bank open, bank 1. Yeah, so anyway, cylinder 1 glow plug down here at the bottom. Today I'm going to replace that cylinder 1 glow plug, and I'm also going to do, I called around about getting a EGR cooler bypass valve and nobody got one. So I do have my old engine down here that's got 501,000 miles on it, and today we're going to change just the bypass valve. I'm not going to change the whole cooler, because I'm just going to change the valve. So I'm not recommending anyone else do that, but I do have a friend that did that and it fixed him up, and this thing's been sitting for about, I don't know how many months, so maybe this one's still good. So here we are back on the AUTEL. I want to go to service, and then when you go to service, you'll see all these different options of different things that you can do. Here it is, EGR. Alright, when it comes up, I'll hit GM. Diagnostic program initializing, automatic select. It's going to read my VIN. Hit OK. Hit OK, it goes to VIN decoding, VIN information decoding. And it's asking me, is that my truck? Yes, it is. Now, there is some information on here that I just flat out don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. Engine control module. It comes up asking for, alright, EGR cooler bypass valve. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do the EGR valve itself first. Alright. When it comes up, it will show a way for you to open and close, manually open and close that valve. I think the truck has to be running, but I'm going to wait until it tells me to start the truck. Alright, EGR position, you see it says up here, EGR valve command, uncommanded. I'm going to increase the command, and I thought it would tell me that the truck needed to be running. So now it's at 10%, 9%. You see all the numbers are changing. I'm going to increase it again. You'll see in progress, and then you'll see the numbers start changing again. That's letting me know the computer's telling that valve to open and close, and it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So now we'll go back. I can probably just hit escape, but I'm not going to. I'm going to set it back where it's supposed to be, or put it back where it was when I found it, which was 00 and 246. So now we're going to hit escape. Now, the EGR cooler bypass valve, which is the one that we think we're having issues with. Alright, now on this one, it's saying engine speed value description conditions not met. That is because the engine's not running, I'm pretty sure, so we're going to go ahead and start it up. We'll reestablish. There we go. So you see it says bypass valve position, turn that off. Bypass valve position is 2. Bypass valve command is 34. And the desired bypass valve position is 95. So let's go hit the increase. And y'all saw me do it a while ago. And I apologize about the glares and all that stuff. I'm trying to do the best I can for you guys. But hit increase. In progress. Failed. That lets me know device limits exceeded, limits out of range. That makes me feel like that is not working. So we're going to replace this, and we're going to try this portion of the test again. So coming in from this direction right here, this is the passenger side of the truck. Here's your passenger side battery. Here is your EGR, one of your EGR pipes. Luckily this stuff is not hot yet, but the valve that I'm thinking we need to be working with is that one right there, that black valve right there. And there are 4 bolts and 1 plug. Well, if anybody happens to be wondering about what happened to the original engine out of the truck with 501,000 miles on it that lost oil pressure, here it is. When I changed the engine, I just set it in the back of a storage trailer until I have a chance to tear it down, and I have not even come close to having a moment to tear it down and find out what happened or what went wrong. The part we're looking for is right here. So the exhaust, there is a port on the exhaust manifold that goes up to the EGR valve. I am no mechanic. This is just me telling what I think. If I'm dead wrong, tell me all about it in the comments. So here's the exhaust manifold. These are the studs I replaced not long ago. So here's the exhaust manifold. This would be the EGR valve. It comes up into the EGR cooler, and this motor, the one I'm thinking is bad now, opens and closes to let the exhaust gases flow into the cooler, around through this way, and it comes up and in, around through this way, and back up here and into the intake. So when that thing opens, it lets your exhaust recirculate, EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, recirculate from the manifold back up through here, back into the intake, and reburns that old gas, or the old diesel. So that's what I was saying. It's getting a lot more soot coming out of the back of the turbo here, going into the exhaust and DPF and everything, and that's why it's not regening correctly. That is my personal opinion of what's going on here, and that's what I'm going to try to fix right here. So the first thing we're going to do is find somewhere to stick a flashlight that's actually metal, and like I say, I try to get a little better. That's why they say that these, if you're going to do anything with all this stuff back here, it's a lot better to pull the cab, because it's like instant access. So there is a yellow tab right here, locking tab. I'm going to pull that back, and you can press right in on the top and pull that joker off. Probably easier said than done, especially when I'm doing it with one hand. Alright, so I push the button down, pull this back, this one plug. Now I'm going to take a T20, if I remember correctly, and Get on these here. There's one underneath. It's going to be a booger with it being on the truck. These are kind of long bolts. Catch it where the bolts can't come out and just wiggle and put a little pull against it a little bit. And if you guys see, there's a little slot right there in that motor on the end. Turn around, maybe you can see it. Try not to drop the bolts out of it. And there, I spin you around like this, that's a little better. So yeah, that little slit, when you put it back in, is going to need to be, you can see right in here, I brought my flashlight just for this and it doesn't want to work, so let's see if I can turn the flash on. Alright, see that little, this right here, that opens and closes that valve. Anyway, so now we'll go try to put this on this one on the truck. We'll back up here to the truck, and the top two bolts came right out with the battery powered ratchet. I got the lock pulled up released on the plug. I cannot get the plug off, so I'm hoping once I get this loose, I can get the plug off a little better. And I have a 1/4 inch drive ratchet with a T20 socket. I'm pretty sure is what that is. So that back one was a pain in the butt, the last one, but it is on its way out. The top two were easy. Bottom one on the other side would have been easy with the inner fender liner out, but it was still doable. And I just had the socket in the end of my hand and kind of easing her out. That plug has got to come unplugged. I took a screwdriver and pushed the lock down and took a ratchet and got in there and wiggled the actual plug off. It was a pain. It did not want to come out, but it did give up. There it is laying right there. And then this guy should be almost out. There it is. Now to get the socket and the bolt back up on top of the motor without dropping none of them. And now let's see if we can slip this dude off. There he is. Now you guys saw on the other one, I reached in here and spun that cam. It's super tight, but I can move it. That lets me know that the valve itself is not bad. I'm going to be very gentle with this thing because you can see where it's kind of starting to try to come apart right there. But let's see, it came out this way. If I go back in the same way and spin it around, and now remember, the plug goes towards the motor, and this needs to be pointing straight up. Alright, so I wasn't holding it exactly right. It needs to be right like this. Make sure it seats all the way up flat, because we do not want to bend that arm in there. So there, I'm ready to put some screws back in it. I tightened the top two up. I started them all by hand and ran them all in. And this is the last one. And then I get the one over here in, if you can see it. Right there. And I'm working on the bottom one on this side. I'm going to be able to plug her up and see if everything's going to do right. Hopefully this will make it happy for a little while anyway. Alright, so there's the last one's tightened up. Now, plug it back in. We'll see what happens. Oh. There, plugged in, locks down. See if we get anything on the computer now. Yeah, the diesel particulate filter regeneration frequency, exhaust gas recirculation cooler bypass valve control. Yep, we're gonna erase these codes. Codes have been successfully erased. Some of these will be permanents. They won't go away until, well, until it sees the issue is fixed. So, that being said, let's start it up. Let it run for a couple of minutes and then I'll reread the codes, because before it showed the codes, I could clear the codes and they wouldn't come back. I cut the truck off, start it back up, and they would come back. So we'll go ahead and let it run for a few minutes, and then if it doesn't come back, I'll do a forced regen and let you guys know if it helped me out or not. About a week later, it is a rainy day outside. I just wanted to come back and end this video. I put about 200 miles on the truck, and so far, no check engine light. I wanted to show you guys on the Edge CTS2 because I don't have the AUTEL handy. I have it right behind me, but the battery's dead. And trouble codes and read codes, and I haven't checked anything because I haven't had check engine light. So that seemed to have fixed our issue. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like early access to all of my videos pretty much before they ever make it to YouTube or any other platform, and exclusive videos that won't ever make it to any other platform, consider going over and checking out my membership site. I've left the link in the description and in the comments of this video. Go over, check it out. It's a 14-day free trial. If you don't like it, cancel it anytime. Thank you for considering. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.